Hello there, Rochelle here for Dreaming English, and today I'm going to have a conversation with a fellow English learner. He's from India. He is a student in university studying civil engineering, and we're going to talk about various things like our experience during the pandemic. I'm actually a teacher in a school, and my kids are in school, and how they're doing remote and hybrid school, how the pandemic has affected his education in university. We'll also talk about our experience with creating and starting YouTube channels, and we'll lastly talk about our experience learning languages and our theories of the best way to learn a language video. So this is the first part. Are you ready? Let's go.
Let's start from our brief introduction. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, so I'm Rochelle. I'm from the United States. I live near Boston, and my daughter and I have a YouTube channel called Dream English where we make videos to help people learn English.
Okay, that's
you?
great. As you know, my name is Vikas, and currently I am a student. I am studying. My course is civil engineering. So I am doing basically Bachelor of Technology. So it's my second year.
Okay, awesome. So what kind of technology are you doing?
Bachelor of Technology.
Oh, of technology. Okay. Okay.
In short, we call VTech.
Okay. Is there any particular technology? Like my son does robotics and mechanical engineering kind of stuff.
Yeah, so my department is civil engineering. We have to make structures, infrastructures, buildings.
Okay, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, and apart from my academics, I have a passion of learning English speaking. So recently I have started a YouTube channel, name is English Yari. So
okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing that?
If I talk about my YouTube, so it's been only 1 month since I have
1 month.
started.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm super new. Like we've been doing this for almost 2 years, but it's a part-time thing for us. So I'm still like we're super newbies for the whole YouTube thing.
Yeah. So what's your full-time job?
So my full-time job, I actually work in a high school. So I work with the students in their last year of high school, and I help them with applying to college for, doing their college applications, which I'm not sure how they are in India, but here in the US, they're very, very complicated. And then there's applications for financial aid to help pay for college, and those are very complicated. So that's what I do for work.
Yeah.
For my full-time work.
Yeah, that's great. And how's your experience on YouTube? As you told, you have been on YouTube since 2 years. So how's your experience from that?
Almost 2 years, and it was actually an idea of my daughter's who wanted to have a YouTube channel, and I said we could have one if it was something educational, and she came up with the idea. And at first I wasn't too keen on being on YouTube myself, but now I actually like it. I learned how to edit, and I like being creative. I try to make videos that are more that are just like, I don't really teach grammar. Like I try to teach by drawing and giving examples and making the videos easy to understand. So I have fun with it, basically. That's my experience, is that it's fun. I like it.
Yeah, and now it's become your hobby, like you have started taking interest.
Yes.
Same here?
Yeah, exactly. So your experience is that it's like kind of a hobby for you, like, because you're going to school full time, right?
Yeah, I go college full time. My exam was going on, it's over today.
Okay.
So now I am feeling little relaxed.
Oh, nice.
Definitely in next few weeks I will invest more time on doing editing or putting videos on YouTube.
Yeah. So is your semester like finishing up in already in March? Like, I don't.
No, actually, that exams should be held on month of December last year, but due to
Oh,
Corona and all, yeah, we are
okay.
we are doing now. It's my third semester.
Oh, the third semester. Okay. So I'm not like, I was like just wondering if the whole college runs the same kind of, like we have it running from September to December is a semester, and then the college students would go like January to May for their second semester. So I just wondered if it runs the same kind of like
Yeah,
schedule
yeah,
there.
yeah. There here is also same schedule, but due to Corona, we have to change a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, here a lot of the colleges went remote for Corona, so they still had the same schedule. They didn't change it, so they just ended up taking the classes online. And my children as well. Like I have a daughter that's 11 and my son is 17, and they've mostly been remote. They've just been starting to return to the school now. And myself, I've also been working remote. I'll be starting to return to the high school that I work in next week, um, because it's been a lot worse here in the US. I
Yeah,
think like
yeah.
I know that like India has a lot of cases, but you have a lot more people. So we have a lot of cases and less people.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hence,
There
like
is
the
a lot.
numbers, like the percentage is higher, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I wanted to ask a question.
Sure.
English is not our, no, it's your mother tongue, it's your native language. But if I talk about India and other countries, uh, it's English is not our native language. It's not our first language. We have to learn for business purposes, for work purposes. So, what would be your suggestion for us if anyone want to learn it in a short period of time?
To learn English in a short period of time. I mean, I think like it's my suggestion to learn is to just try to immerse yourself as much as possible. Like basically every single time, if you watch any YouTube, if you watch any television, if you watch movies, to be watching them in English, to be turning on dubbing it. If it's like movies that you can dub it into English and have the English subtitles, do not watch them with, is it Hindi is your native? Like, and I'm learning from the last time I spoke with somebody from India that the native language, the main language is Hindi.
Yes, yes, Hindi.
Right. So like not to have the sub, like I used to watch, I studied Spanish and I used to watch things in Spanish, but with English subtitles. And that's really not helpful because I'm not paying as much attention to the language. I'm reading the subtitles. So now what I do is I watch everything in Spanish and with Spanish
Wow.
subtitles. So I would suggest learning English, the same thing. Watch everything, listen to things all in English as much as possible to immerse yourself as much as possible. And try to watch things that are easier to understand.
Yeah,
Because if you're just watching things that are not comprehensible at all, then you're not gaining anything.
yeah. And also, if you go for hard things and which you can't understand, then it would be not too hard. You will start feeling boring, and we will
Hmm.
give up very soon.
Absolutely, it'll be boring to you. You'll lose like motivation, and and interesting things. Like if you're not watching
Yeah,
things that are interesting and fun, then that's also not going to be any help to you. But there's a lot for English, I'm sure, because like think about it, like what are the main languages? Like it would be like English and Chinese and Spanish and like the main. So there's tons and tons of content in English,
yes, yes.
and I think like trying to absorb content in English is so much
Mm.
easier than, well, when I was in college, which was a while ago, it was in the
Yeah,
90s. There was barely the internet. There wasn't all this. So basically, if I wanted to try to study something, I had to go get tapes from the library and play them. I couldn't, like now you can listen to,
yeah,
you can watch all kinds of things on the internet. And so it's, I think, much easier to immerse yourself in a
yes,
language, even if
yes.
you can't go to that country.
Yeah, yeah. Now everything become easy to learn. You can
Yeah,
learn any language just sitting on your room, on your home.
yeah. And like what I do, like every single time, if I'm exercising, if I'm doing whatever, I'm listening. Like I listen to podcasts, so I'm always listening to things in the language that I'm learning. So I don't wait, or if I'm driving, because when I go to work, it's a half-hour drive, so I'm listening to Spanish because that's what I'm trying to learn. So I'm just trying to immerse myself all the time whenever I have time to do that. So that might be my suggestion, because the more hours of listening to the language, you're going to like develop an ear for the language, and you'll be able to understand it more. And then I think
Yes.
by that you'll be able to speak it better, because you'd have developed the ear for the language.
Yes, yes. I think for learning any language, we should have some content, and content will come from listening, reading a lot of things, and after that, we have to also try speaking. So in India, our education system also run in English. Like we have to read everything in English. Uh, Everything, our exams also conduct in English. But the problem is people not prefer to talk in English. In
Mm,
college, in a school, teacher also speak Hindi. Yeah, in
right.
India there is also few college now which is going under ICI board, but earlier there was no anything like that.
Right, right. I mean, that makes sense, because I think even when, um, when we're studying a language, there's the tendency to just like read it and study it and not speak it. And I think especially when you're not as comfortable, like when I speak to people from other countries, they'll tell me often they studied English in school, but they studied it from books and they didn't do the speaking part of it. So
Yeah,
if you're not speaking it, then you're not gonna really retain it. And I think when you're just always like reading and studying from books, it's kind of like you're just trying to memorize it for the test or memorize it, but you're not actually like you're not
yeah,
absorbing it that way. If that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. Observation should be the most important part.
Yeah.
So
And so I also like myself, like I was trying to do a lot of reading in Spanish, but I decided I would watch more YouTubes with the subtitles, because if I'm reading it and I'm just like saying it to myself or reading it aloud and I'm pronouncing it wrong, then I'm going to develop bad habits. So I've decided instead that I would, until I feel like my pronunciation is there and that I developed an ear, that instead I would like watch a lot of content with the subtitles. So that way I'm listening to the right pronunciation, as opposed to if I'm just trying to read a Spanish book and I'm pronouncing things wrong, then I'm just going to then
yeah.
develop this habit of pronouncing these particular words wrong, if that makes sense.